Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MJ Games. I am Michael, and I'm really honored to be joined in today's spotlight by Planet Plipcam. How are you doing, buddy?
Hi everyone, thank you very much for having me today. I'm completely blind to this park and I can't wait to check it out. From these first looks that I'm looking at today, it looks spectacular. Look at all that water. Can't wait to check it out. Thanks so much for letting me be here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And this is the first time having you on this channel, so I'm glad that we figured out how to do this through Discord and stuff because we definitely need to do this more often. So I believe this is this creator's first park because this creator reached out on YouTube, and this is a park called Evergreen Trails. And it says, my first creation in Planet Coaster, best viewing results, turn everything off under global sandbox settings. I'll be honest, I forgot to do that, so hopefully nothing shows up that was not needed. The park features 3 coasters, and as the Vekoma Boomerang, there's an I don't know this maker, this Schmeck, ETC Woody. I'll be honest, I don't know that wow, I can't think. That manufacturer, there you go. And an Intamin rocket. And so as you can kind of see here at the entrance, as we get started, Plip, what are your first thoughts kind of initially just seeing how this creator designed the entrance?
I mean, as I've said, it seems like water's a real key theme, but even the realism you can see that it's been considered to start with as you can see to the left and the right, brilliant. I know you're not too used to recording these and talking afterwards, but you've done a brilliant job so far. But you can see the realism all the way through and where you get your tickets. That's what I'm impressed by. And then just looking at the central plaza, it's always nice to have something as a focal point in the middle to look at.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I believe I forgot to say, this is created by JDP underscore dash 5 stars. And so I apologize ahead of time if we kind of zoom through stuff because as Plip said, this is my first time really pre-recording a video like this. So I'm used to talking as I'm walking through the park. So this is a different kind of tour for me. But I love the kind of design that this creator decided to go with the wooden pieces, but then having that kind of black trim around it. I think that looks really nice.
I mean, what have you got around here? This is some kind of like an eatery kind of area, looking out.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a nice view
Yeah.
over a veranda into over the water. I really like how there seems to be loads of different alleyways that you can go down. That's a really nice feature so far.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned at the beginning the water, and I think that's what's really cool is that having all this wasted space in the park or just throwing down a lot of trees. This creator decided to utilize a lot of water, and I mean skinning all these flat rides. That's pretty impressive for a first park too.
It's quite interesting so far. It's like a mix between Bavarian, almost Viking kind of style, but I really like the
Mm-hmm.
wood that you've used, and then it's not just how you have the blocky buildings, like all the different pillars on the outside of the buildings. I really like that to give it a bit more 3D
Yeah, and so
elements
I
just
believe
around
this
here.
right here is supposed to resemble like push chairs.
Oh yes,
So,
yeah.
uh,
I don't
um,
think I've seen people using the carts like that before. I think it's quite an easy way, I guess, to use them. Good idea.
I love this little juice shop. I think that looks awesome.
Yeah, that's nice. I like those bright yellow canopies just up there.
And so I think I was clicking on here, just kind of showing what pieces the creator used, and I believe it's just the stucco behind there. So I believe that's what I was clicking on there. And so we get to the first ride called Hirago, I think is what it was called. Sorry if I'm mispronounced that name, but it's a Vekoma Boomerang, which these are all pretty similar, but really kind of cool design how it comes out over the water and it's like it's on its own little peninsula or island.
It'd be so exciting to walk across there, and you get the brilliant view of the lift hill as you're walking up the queue line. Yeah, the foliage used all the way around. I'm really liking the look of this. Certainly a coaster I'd want to queue up and get on.
Absolutely. Sure.
One
And
thing
one
I
thing
must
I'd say
say,
too, as we start
sorry,
going on,
go on, Michael.
yeah, one bit of advice I wanted to kind of give as we were on this coaster is you can see in a lot of the stations in this park the area lights that are used for lighting. He could just the creator could just push those up in the wall a little bit, and it would look like recess lighting.
That's funny. That was exactly what I was about to say when I interrupted you. Exactly. On the ceilings, just put something different just to block them in, even if it's art shapes, just to make it look a bit more like fixings. Or as Michael says perfectly, just put it up a little bit. and that's a really good idea to do. So yeah, just focus on your ceilings instead of having them flat. Even just some beams in there might hide those area lights a little bit more.
Sure. And I love how this was created to where the both ends of the boomerang kind of come up near each other, which I always
Yes.
think is a really kind of cool look. What were your thoughts on that coaster?
Yeah, so I think I really like how you've got at the top the is it the Cobra roll just at the end? You've got the supports at the end. Is
Mm-hmm.
that must be custom? It of course isn't with the coaster itself. Yeah, really nice feature of that coaster. Very impressive.
Yes, and I think I was speeding it up here because, and I do zoom in later on. Like those are definitely custom. I think it went a little bit quick through the Cobra roll. I do like it. I just think it was a little bit it jarred just a little bit because of how long those coaster trains are. I felt like the size of the actual inversion was a little bit too small, if that makes sense. I think that's why I kind of zoomed in there, was so you could kind of see that it's a little bit of a smaller version, but I think overall layout's really strong, obviously, and I love the custom. You
Yeah,
know, for a first part, going through and trying to do custom supports and stuff like that, or custom walkway, and that's a really unique walkway using an actual path.
so neat, so neat. Even the color scheme, I really like it. How it seems like a completely different area, and then we're going to be walking now into the more wooded area as we head on to the next ride. Is it the Woody next?
No, it's actually that's the coaster we go on last. So because I was kind of looping around in the park, but now we're going to. So there's basically 3 islands that make up this park, and we're about to head to this really kind of cool flat ride. And we don't actually go on the flat ride, but I kind of take us on the path. It's called Route 999. But now you can kind of see a different building style, and I love the mixture of this kind of rough brick with those pillars that are being used. Um, so, what are your initial thoughts of this area and how this kind of differs from the other part of the park?
I love just to start off how that actually interacts with the path. How you've curved it right around, and you can
Hmm.
perfectly see you've got a bank of foliage in between, and then it's themed as well with the rides and the queue in mind. You've got the budget of the park couldn't be theming the queue and the ride, so you've got good sight lines of each from both areas. So yeah, really nice.
I gotta say, I love those lights. Like that's such a unique way to make those lights in that section. Um,
Yeah, it's almost like they listened to you and said put some trims on those lights, and they certainly have on this ride.
Yeah. So as you can see, we're not actually taking a ride on this because we go pretty slow. So we're just kind of free moving the camera along the track. But this is such a cool, like this is one of the best car rides I've seen because now you're about to see that we kind of come out into its own little island out here. Um, just absolutely beautiful.
It seems quite spooky around here. It's like you got some peep through the roots just there. You got fire going on. It seems quite a high budget ride so far, but then also you
Hmm.
do have a nice mix of the foliage and uh, yeah, loads of nice set pieces. It's hard to kind of determine a theme. It's more just like exploratory, have an
Yeah.
adventure. But yeah, really nice. You've got more western pieces around here.
Yep. Anytime you say it's hard to determine a theme, that's like, yep, that's what I do. But no, as you can kind of see here from this aerial view, it's got like its own little island that goes out to, and that's just a very kind of really unique concept and idea for a flat ride.
Yes.
Definitely high budget, and some
So
nice little.
I just want to give a tip there. Just looking at the foliage, just rotate those bushes. That just annoys me a little bit. Just seeing the 2D shapes. Sorry, carry on.
No, you're good. Yeah, I mean, always rotate is change the height levels and stuff. We'll say with those conifers, I feel like you don't really want to lower them too much because then it kind of cuts off, like, and it makes it look awkward. Um, yeah, just rotating them for sure. You know, there's definitely some good little elevation changes, like nothing major, but there's enough to where this is really well done for this first park and stuff. The flat rides are skinned. You know, that one kind of almost looked like a barn, and now we're heading to this more. I don't know if it's more like a biking type area, but as you can see, and I actually went up the exit here.
Yeah,
um,
there's quite a few who do that. I know someone on Channel 5 Gaming. I think it's Zelixor or someone. He's known for it, always going up the exit way. But it was so seamless just going up that ramp. You didn't really notice the changes in terrain. But as you say, for a first park, it's quite incredible to be changing the terrain and really going out there to push yourself in the game.
Agreed. And I do like the covering on these cues. I will say I think some of this fencing that's put up here on the left, you'll kind of see it's like a random, just like random piece of a wall that just kind of ends. And I do feel like there could have been more done with that, because that's something that, as you see to the left right there, bugs me a little bit when there's like a little piece out. But that just comes with time and working more in the games with the pieces and kind of learning to build more. But this is another impressive station. Looks really cool.
Nice water effects as well by the ride just there. It would be nice if they were triggered. It doesn't look like they are, but yeah, very nice to consider that as well.
And you've got the little bins to the left that could represent storage for items.
It's called the
As you can see
Wendigo.
here. Yeah.
I'm sure a Wendigo is a little baby kids ride, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the name was just Wendigo. It's not. I don't think the coaster type's not Wendigo. I think that was just
right,
the
fair
name
enough.
of the coaster.
Nice. Yeah, really nice. Going under those roots as well. Nice head choppers all the way around. Bits of airtime. Quite a short coaster really, but I guess it is a launch coaster. Right around. No opportunity for a transfer track or anything, I don't think. But yeah, really, really good.
Yeah, that's real. And I like too how the launch area is kind of covered, right? So it looks very similar to the station. In this area, you can definitely tell how different it is. I really like that coaster, and as you said, it's short, but it's a launch coaster. A lot of launch coasters are pretty short, but it really fits well in the area, and there's a lot of near misses.
You know what? I apologise. I think I just said, well, I did say no time for transfer trap, but you have done just at the start of the launch. So apologies. I didn't see it at the start, but yeah, really good. Again, as we say, for your first park to be doing all these things, you really must know your stuff. So really well done.
And I want to apologize to the creator, because normally that's something I would zoom more in on, but I think with going through and filming this for my first time doing one of these, I definitely didn't focus on that like I should have, because I love my transfer tracks. As you can see there to the left, I mean, I wish I could do a transfer track on my first park. So
I know,
impressive.
same for me. And I barely even build coasters. I go around criticising people's coasters, but realise I spend too much time on the theming and wasting percentage. But no, really nice coaster there.
Yeah, and overall, I think the coaster could have been smoothed a little bit more, but I think, I know we say it a lot, but like it is true. Like the more you play this game, the better you get. For a first
Exactly.
part,
Yeah.
first few coasters, I mean, really, it was really smooth for from that aspect too. A lot better than my first coaster that way. And I love this little water area.
Even the fencing that you've got around there, I'd often say on some of the spotlights I do, I mention you've really got to think of realism, and number one point has to be looking where people could be in danger and falling into water. But just moving on to look at these small details, looking at that like a gun midway and some other one, something into a pipe or something. Ladder climb.
One of them was like a wasn't a wall climbing thing. I forget what it was, but yeah, it was really cool, kind of utilizing it. That's one thing too that's cool about this park is, I think probably since the creator's pretty new at it, maybe not knowing how to use like some of the actual build pieces to create some of these items, or he's using in-game to kind of mask it. And it's pretty well done too. And so this is, I mean, I just love that rough brick. That's probably one of my favorite build pieces in the game, or at least wall piece.
So over some kind of waterfall now, and onto, is this the third island, second or third island?
Yes, the third island. So the first one was technically the main entrance area, and so this one's more focused around water, a log flume water ride. I mean, foliage is really well, like you mentioned before, really well done too. Just a lot of different types of trees used, and it's not really repetitive. Like there are some plants here and there, But from the tree standpoint, like that's doing a really good job of varying that up.
The foliage seems to frame things really nicely as well. As we
Hmm.
walked over that bridge, you saw those two taller, brighter green trees, and they frame that drop tower really nicely. And if you've thought about that, and that's not coincidence, really well done. I really like that. Just thinking of the sight lines when you are elevated, and thinking of your guest movement or where they're wanting to go around the park.
Yeah, agreed. Salmon streams or salmon, however people want to pronounce it. So this is a log flume, and I like how initially you kind of walk underneath this tunnel. And then I wonder, using those custom lights, just taking a wooden pole and putting a light on it, even just something like that, just kind of adds a little of the basic lights that are given in the game.
Wow, I love that. That first
Hmm.
scene just on the wall. That's really lovely. That is.
Really well done.
Things moving. I would make those stationary, those cogs. Maybe if fingers went in the cogs, it might hurt a little.
Yep, agreed.
But then again, nice shelters and things to just keep you in the shade, and you don't want to be too much in the summer sun.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good job of everything being fenced off because I feel like we see a lot of times when people are early on making parks, they maybe forget to like fence off their station or something. Um, so now you can see we're riding in, I believe it's look forward mode because it always seems when I get on log flume that I'm in the seat of a kid who
Yeah,
can't
got a
see in the
kiddie in
front
the
of the log.
front. It's quite an interesting layout, this one. Like, we actually drop down to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And you must imagine the pumping that must take for the water to get up. It's quite an unusual kind of layout.
Yes, for sure. So that's something I didn't even think about. Very, one of those little things that goes into creating everything that goes into creating a theme park and a ride and stuff. And I love the look of that, whatever that one's called. I always get them confused. That little drop tower right there.
Yeah, I'm not too. They're always difficult to tell if they're shot or drop towers or. Yeah,
I
really
know
nice
that's one of the
sightlines.
shot ones, but I can't remember the name of it. The hyper jump. That's it.
Intertwining under things. Then it's nice how you've got supports for the path as well. You really notice it when you're on the ride, lower down. And this is quite a hefty drop up here, so we're gonna get wet on this one.
Yep. And I do come in afterwards. We do come and look in this area at night because I don't think it's on a trigger. It definitely looks really cool in here at night. So we'll take a look at that after we get off the coaster, or not the coaster, after we get off the log flume.
Right. Get a head chopped off. Nearly. It's a problem with look forward. You're a bit higher up.
Yeah.
So I guess all the people in the queue line, they'll get a great view and laugh at you and point at you as you're soaking wet.
Your favorite tree to use in the game? I mean, I know there's like different scenarios for different ones, but like your favorite.
My favorite tree has to be. I think it's called Marula, Marula.
Okay.
I really love that tree. It's brilliant for turning around for tree stumps and everything like that. Yeah, really nice tree.
Yeah, I didn't think.
What about you?
I like the oak trees. I just think they add a lot of. They're one of those are the sycamores are the ones to me that have a lot of substance to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have started looking at things where like whether you use oak or you can do this with like the Brazil. I know you had the one on the video on foliage and stuff where you did stuff that was cool, but like the Brazilian nut tree and some of those that are really cool at the top that kind of have that long branch, you can just kind of copy and paste and advance move it and kind of turn it and move it down a little bit on the tree trunk, and it kind of gives it a little bit more of a fullness.
Oh, nice. Like a mega tree, just loads them. I'll have to give it a go.
Yeah, and so as you can see at night, like how awesome does this look at night?
It's pretty cool, that. Wow. That'd be pretty scary.
And that saw up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you can see right now, I also took this time to just take a quick view around the park at night. And so what are your thoughts about how everything's kind of lit up from what we can see?
I think this is superb, really. For a first park, look at that. every bit seems to be lit up. Yes, there's some areas where you could do a little bit more spotlighting on the wider paths, where maybe some light should be in the middle. But superb, really, for a first park. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just like, man, I can't wait to see what this creator does next. And it's created on the PS4, so forgot to mention that in the beginning. So obviously, there's a little bit less of a limit than on the PS5 or the Xbox One or Series X. I always forget the name of the new Xboxes, but
Yeah, Xbox One's the lower one.
I love this sign, "Fire in the Hole," and so I don't know if that's supposed to be like fireworks there or something, but it's oh no, then never mind. That's the name of this ride. I don't know what I was thinking.
Cool.
That's a cool name for the kind of hyper jump right here, and with the sign that was made, and then another little nice plaza with all these buildings and just really good use of the trim. Maybe sometimes varying up instead of using the really thick beams, using something that's not quite as thick. Overall, like really well done.
You know, for a last gen park, it's so well done because you can't really realise because there's so many paths intertwining. Like for the sheer amount of paths that you've got, that will take up quite a bit of percentage. I really like the immersion and how you get lost in this park. I've no idea where I am. I guess the only thing keeping me knowing where I am is that woody coaster, which I'm longing to take a look at.
Yeah, so now we're back to the main island. So this is the last main ride on the park. And I just like, this is just a pet peeve of mine with Pass, is how it's got that little part that's kind of moved down underneath, because as you can see, I know maybe not getting a good glance of it, but the creator used the pathing to kind of create this elevated, almost like ceiling over part of the coaster. But then because paths have that kind of middle part that sticks down, as you can see right there, to me it just kind of takes away from what the creator was trying to do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
As you can see, this is it's a basic wooden coaster. It's about 100 feet tall. Nothing too crazy, but it's got a nice layout.
Good lighting as well on the sides.
My bad, Plip. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like the lighting on the side, sorry. Really nice. To do the advanced move to rotate it onto the beams. Very good job.
Yes, for sure. And I know at the beginning of the video I totally butchered the name of this coaster manufacturer, so I'd love somebody to comment and let us know like what are some of the coasters they've made and stuff, because I'd never heard of that manufacturer before.
What did it begin with? You've heard of Mac. Did you say Mac at the start?
No, I'm looking at it right now as we're riding this ride. It's a Schmeck / PTC.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bit of a Mac Schwarzkopf kind of, I don't know, mashup. That'd be a bit crazy.
I love the double down there, or double up and double down. That's really well done.
Nicely done, nice tight turn. Not too much banking needed for the more classic woodies.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Is it definitely fits the older style wooden coasters. As I was saying before, I respect the idea that was trying to go for here with the path above your kind of head on the coaster. I just feel like I just don't like how the underneath of the paths are in this game. Yeah, what are your thoughts overall on that coaster?
Yeah, very good. I do like those classic layouts, and how it just intertwines and goes under each other, and you never know when those final bunny hills are going to end. Just going around the block sections at the end, Planet Coaster does a bit of a weird job when you have the brakes. When you're going around the corner, you have the metal pieces that look like they just absolutely bend all of the brake things on the train. But yeah, just have a look, maybe for realism, making it a straight brake run.
Yeah, that's the only advice I was going to give too, is along those lines. Because I agree with what you're saying there. And then because of there only being a block section at the end, the coaster has to wait at the top of the lift hill for a little bit. And so that just all comes back to designing of layout and of the ride and stuff. And so now we're just going to take a couple minutes to kind of get some last overviews of the park. And overall, like what stood out to you the most in this park?
For sure, realism and safety for guests, that's a big one for me. And also lighting. You're not going to get lost in darkness in this park. The architecture as well, I really like how you've made it 3D and not Minecraft buildings,
Hmm.
just with the flat build pieces. And then finally, for me, you get lost in the park, even though it's a last gen park. I love how you've got so many different views from the paths that you can see around. So yeah, very well done, and I've really enjoyed looking at your park.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And when you point out the lights on the lift hill when we were riding that wooden coaster, that was so well done. Because it just gives a really cool look from a distance. And I'm kind of zooming in here again on the custom evacuation area or whatever that would be called for that Boomerang coaster. And yeah, what was your favorite of the three coasters that we rode?
I think for me, the favourite ride in the park has to be the water ride.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose a coaster, I think I'm going to go for the Woody. Really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I agree. And so thank you guys so much for watching this video. I agree with both of what you said right there. I think the water ride was probably the most well done. I think the wooden coaster is the best coaster, but the best interaction with coasters is the launch coaster. And thank you so much for joining me on this park tour, and we'll definitely have more of these.
Thanks very much.
All right, everybody, make sure to hit a like on the video, go subscribe to Plipcam, and have a great rest of your day.